So today we are on unit 3.3.
Can I teach the class?
No. We're in unit 3.3, okay? And we are going to add, subtract, and multiply. Add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. Okay, add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So, the adding and subtracting part is basically just combine like terms. Okay, but we say that it's, we're adding and subtracting polynomials. That's kind of the mathy way to say it. But basically, it's just combine like terms. So, something like example number 1. If I give you quantity, so that means in parentheses, 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x plus 10, close your parentheses, plus, new parentheses, negative 5x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x minus 4. Close your parentheses again. So 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x plus 10 plus negative 5x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x minus 4. So this one, your problem actually comes to you right now in parentheses. Okay, but if you're just adding, do you really need the parentheses? Not so much. Okay. This one, so since there's just a plus in between and nothing has to be distributed, your basic next step is just to drop the parentheses. So essentially, we are just going to rewrite this whole thing. Okay, so 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x plus 10 minus 5x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x minus 4. Now, when you are combining like terms, we do want to add things together in decreasing order. Anyone know what that means when I say decreasing order? Decreasing what?
Values.
Decreasing exponents, okay? So you want to combine the largest exponents, and when you write down your answer, you want it to go largest exponents to smallest, okay? So if you combine like terms, we're going to combine the x cubes. So I'm just going to underline the different like terms. We're going to put together the x squareds. So you might use different colors. You might want to use, I don't know, squiggly lines or boxes or circles or however you would like to identify your like terms. If you don't feel like you need to identify the like terms, you don't have to. I'm going to use different colors. Okay, so first to start with, I'm going to combine the x cubes. So remember, these are just combined like terms. We are not changing anything about the exponent numbers. So 4x cubed minus 5x cubed gives you what? Negative x cubed. If you write the 1 in front, that's fine, but you don't have to. Okay. My strategy for when I'm combining like terms, especially when they're really long like this, is I would just kind of cross them out once you're done. It just helps to make sure that you've actually gotten everything and you didn't miss a part. Okay, next I'm going to go to the x squared. So 4x squared minus 2x squared gives you a plus 2x squared. Cross them out when you're done. Negative 3x minus 4x gives you negative 7x. Cross them out when you're done. And then 10 minus 4 gives you plus 6. Does anyone know why would 10 go last? Why are the numbers last in decreasing exponent order? Because they don't have any exponents? Technically, they do have an exponent. What would be the exponent's power?
1.
No. This is kind of like an x to the 0 power. Okay, because remember x to the 0 cancels out to be 1. So that would cancel out 10 times 1 is just 10. Okay, so that's why those ones go at the end. Because they technically have a 0 power. Okay, so that's your answer. So the first part of your homework is just this. Okay, just combine like terms. Okay, next one. So that's adding together polynomials. Okay, next one. They give you quantity, so open your parentheses, 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 7x plus 12 minus, new parentheses, negative 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 9x minus 3. Close your parentheses. Now, this one's just barely different because you are subtracting polynomials. So if you're subtracting, what do you remember you have to do? Distribute the negative, right. So this negative is going to distribute to every single part. Okay, so you do want to rewrite this one. The first part, or the first parentheses, is just going to be rewritten. So just recopy the first parentheses. That's 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 7x plus 12. Make sure you distribute all the way through, and I know that seems really basic, but a lot of people forget to distribute all the way through, and it'll get you the wrong answer. Negative, negative gives you plus 4x cubed minus 6x squared minus 9x and plus 3. Then we're right back to something like problem number 1. You just need to combine like terms. So we're going to put together the cubes, put together the squares. Now, these are luckily already written in descending order. They're not always going to be that way. Sometimes it might be a little bit mixed up, but you still are going to match things together just like you always would. Okay, and then we're going to combine together our numbers. So if we combine like terms, 3x cubed plus 4x cubed gives you what? 7x cubed. Okay, that goes away. Remember, we're not changing anything about the exponent. I'm just adding together the numbers in front of it. 4x squared minus 6x squared gives you what? Negative 2x squared. I would cross them out once you're done. 7x minus 9x is negative 2x. Cross it out again. And then finally 12 plus 3 gives you plus 15. That's your answer. Is this easy, difficult, boring? Easy and boring. Good. Okay. Now these aren't very long, I promise, okay? Number 3. Okay, now we're going to multiply. Okay, so I only have just a couple more, but when you multiply, I would like you to multiply x minus 1 quantity squared. So that means in parentheses squared, multiplied by x plus 2. X minus 1 quantity squared, so that means in parentheses squared. Now, this is where, not that it gets complicated, but people like to take shortcuts, okay? You really cannot take a shortcut on this. What does x minus 1 squared actually mean? What do you have to do? You have to multiply it twice. So you actually do have to write it out, x minus 1 and x minus 1. You cannot just distribute that exponent, okay? It doesn't work that way. That works for a for a monomial. So if there's nothing attached by a plus or minus, that's when what we did yesterday, we just distributed those exponents. You cannot do that for a binomial. Binomial means 2 terms. Okay, so if there's something attached by a plus or minus, you have to write it out twice. You can start, just go left to right. So first thing you want to do is multiply x minus 1 times x minus 1. There's a couple different ways you can do that. Okay, the most common way to do it is called FOIL. Okay, I know some of you guys have used those boxes that you use in like genetics or in science class bio. I'm going to show you using FOIL. So FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. And it's just an acronym to help you make sure you get everything multiplied together. So first times first would give you what? X times x gives you x squared. O stands for outside. So if you multiply the 2 outside things together, what does that give you? Minus 1x. I stands for inside. So what would you get when you multiply the insides together? The negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And L stands for last. So negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Now, this one still has to be multiplied by x plus 2. Before you do that, you actually want to combine like terms in here first. So we're going to combine the x's. Okay, do those cancel each other out? No. Okay, it's just x squared minus 2x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. Again, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You could do what we call the distributing rainbows, which means you literally multiply everything and you show those little archways. A lot of people like to do the boxes. So I'll show you a couple different ways. For this one, I'll do the boxes. So for the boxes, you line up something on the top. So x squared minus 2x plus 1. And then we're going to line up those boxes that you used to do genetics in science class. Okay? Along the side, you're going to line up the x and a plus 2. Now you're actually going to multiply. So what would be x squared times x?
2x squared.
X cubed. Remember, we're not adding them together. You're just adding their exponents. So this would be x to the third power. If you multiply x squared times positive 2, that gives you plus 2x squared. Okay, you do have to put in the signs. X times negative 2x gives you negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 2 gives you minus 4x. 1 times x gives you plus 1x. And then the last one, positive 2 times positive 1 gives you a plus 2. Now, you're not done. Okay, this is not a very good looking answer. You actually do have to combine like terms. And the way that these boxes work is the like terms are always going to be diagonal to one another. So those are like terms. These are like terms. You could write these all out just like what we had up here and then combine like terms, but you don't have to. It's a lot easier to just do it in here. So again, our answers do have to be in decreasing order, so that means decreasing in exponent value. So which one should be first? The x cubed. So x cubed, that one's gone. Positive 2x squared minus 2x squared gives you what? 0. Okay, these cancel each other out completely. So those go away. Negative 4x and positive 1x gives you what? Negative 4x, positive 1x gives you what?
Negative 3x.
Minus 3x. Okay, those are gone. And then finally, a plus 2. That's your answer. Okay, so these are not super difficult. They're just a little bit time consuming sometimes. Okay, nothing that's super difficult, just a little bit time consuming. Excuse me. Questions on how I did that? Okay, everybody caught up? I hope. Yeah? Okay, a couple more. For example number 4. Example number 4. I would like you to find the volume. Find the volume of the rectangular solid. Find the volume of the rectangular solid. Okay, now, don't worry, we're not going to bust out any geometry or anything here. Okay, I'm going to draw a cube, and my volume, my height is 3x minus 2. My depth is x minus 4, and my length is 2x plus 3. So, find the volume of the rectangular solid. How do you find volume? Does anyone remember?
You have to multiply all its sides by each other.
Just multiply all of them together. So length times height times width. Okay. Doesn't really matter what order you multiply them in, as long as you get them all multiplied together. Okay. So we're gonna multiply 3x minus 2 times x minus 4 times 2x plus 3. And like I said, you can multiply these in any order. Okay. Like your parentheses could totally be mixed up, and that's fine. So first thing you want to do is you're going to FOIL together the first two. So FOIL together the first two. We're not even looking at this last one. So first times first would give you what? 3x times x is 3x squared. Outsides is 3x multiplied by negative 4. So that's minus 12x. I stands for inside, so negative 2 times x gives you negative 2x. And L stands for last. So negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. That still needs to be multiplied by 2x plus 3. Okay, so you want to combine like terms first. Otherwise, it's just a little bit messy. So combine like terms first. So if I put these two together, that will leave me with 3x squared minus 14x plus 8 multiplied by 2x plus 3. Okay, Okay, so I showed you how to do the boxes just now in the first example, or in example number 3. Now I'm going to show you something we call the distributing rainbows. Okay, I don't know who made up that term. It's just how we do it. Okay, so first, if you distribute the 3x to everything, okay, we could also distribute the 14 to everything. And finally, if you distribute the 8 to everything. The reason that I particularly do not like this method is there's a lot of arrows going on here. Okay, and that's fine if that works for you, but you can tend to kind of lose something here. So if I distribute 3x squared times 2x, what does that give me? 3x squared multiplied by 2x. Multiply the numbers together, add their exponents. So 3x squared multiplied by 2x would give you 6x cubed, so 6x to the third. Then 3x squared multiplied by 3 would give you plus 9x squared. Negative 14x times 2x gives you minus 28x squared. Negative 14 times 3, or excuse me, negative 14x times 3 gives you what? Minus negative 14 multiplied by 3. 14 times 3 is negative 42x. Okay, then 8 times 2x gives you plus 16x. And finally, 8 times 3 gives you plus 24. Now, these ones are already lined up with their like terms. So the x squareds are already next to each other. The x's are already next to each other. If you rewrite this, we got 6x cubed. Positive 9 minus 28 gives you what? Minus 19x squared. 42 plus 16 is minus 26x. And finally, a plus 24. Okay? In my opinion, that takes a long time and there's a lot of stuff going on. I would not recommend this method, but if you're comfortable with it and you can consistently get the right answers, that can work for you. Anyone have questions so far? Okay, I have 2 more and then we'll be done. Number 5. Okay, for this one, I'm just going to ask you to multiply. Find the product of x squared minus 2x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 5. Okay, find the product of x squared minus 2x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 5. Now, I'm going to show you a different way of multiplication here, okay? Do you all remember if you were going to multiply, okay, and you don't have to write this part down, but if I was going to multiply, let's say 123 multiplied by, shoot, I don't know, let's say 11, okay? If you multiplied, do you guys remember this old school multiplication? You'd multiply 1 times 3 and you'd get 3, 1 times 2, 1 times 1. Then what do you put here? A 0. And then you move over a space. 3 times 1, 3 times 2, like this. And then you just add things together in columns. Do we all remember that kind of old school multiplication? I'm going to show you the exact same way, but with letters, okay? All you do is you line up the larger first. So line up the larger polynomial first. So right here, it's going to be the trinomial. Whatever has more terms, line that up on the top. Then on this bottom, I want you to line up the other one. Okay, so just line those up. Then we're going to do what I call old school multiplication. Okay, the only thing different is you don't have to carry. You're never going to have to carry your numbers. And you do have to write the sign. So you do have to put if it's plus or minus. So if you start negative 5 times 3, what does that give you? Negative 15. So you write negative 15. There's no carrying. Then we take negative 5 times negative 2x. What does that give you? Plus 10x. So you do have to put in the sign. You have to put in plus or minus. Negative 5 times x squared gives you negative 5x squared. Then, just like over here, put in a plus 0. Okay, we're basically just skipping a space. X times 3 gives you a plus 3x, so make sure you put in your sign. And then x times negative 2x gives you negative 2x squared. And the last part is x times x squared is x cubed. Now these are perfectly lined up in columns so that you can combine the like terms, right? Doesn't matter if you go left to right or right to left, does not matter. X cubed is just x cubed. Negative 5x squared minus 2x squared gives you negative 7x squared. Positive 10x plus 3x gives you plus 13x. And finally, negative 15 plus 0 is negative 15. That's your answer. Okay, I'm going to give you one more problem, and I want you to do whichever method you like. Okay? I'm going to give you one more problem. I want you to try whatever method you'd like to, and then we'll check our answers in just a minute. Okay? So if I want you to multiply 3x squared plus 3x plus 5 multiplied by 2x plus 3. You guys try that one on your own. And this will be the last one for today's notes. So do this by whatever method is your favorite. So if you're staring at the screen right now, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be doing some multiplication. Once you're done, check and see if we got the same answer. Did anyone try doing the boxes? Anyone use the boxes? A lot of people like the boxes. Did we get the same answer? Okay. Did anyone try those rainbows? Okay. Did we get the same answer? Okay. Did anyone try my way? The old school. This is called old school method. I made it up, and it's old school.
You made it up?
I did. I made this up.
Hold on, you made that up.
I just started multiplying, yes.
So have you Googled that?
No, I have not
Anybody
Googled
else
old
like
school
it?
method, but thank you. Maybe I should do that.
Maybe you should just
Great.
make sure and then like trademark that.
Yeah, I don't think that's able to be trademarked, but thank you.
You could try.
I'll try. So, that's what we're doing today, okay? Write down this assignment because it is a little bit scattered in your textbook, okay? You are working on page 349. We are doing numbers 3 through 15 odd. Okay, it's a little bit all over the place because, well, it just is. 3 through 15 odd, 16 to 23, that's all. Okay, 16 to 23 all. Number 26, 28 through 30, so that means all. And 39 to 47 odd. Technically, you're also supposed to do worksheet 3, but I am going to take that off for you guys. Say again?
So do that.
I know.